Hello and welcome. Time for a completely unnecessary video because I've done so many. I got nothing else to do but wait for confirmations of my Bitcoin Cash ABC. 14 confirmations on Poloniex, 20 on Bittrex. I'm at 6 of 20 as of 7 minutes ago. And I'll be selling that and I'll be buying DGB. I did a video earlier trading the 1 minute term time frame. And I mean, previous level of resistance, I came into play where I got stopped out right here at a low of 7792.54 with mine at 7795.18. Now, it's just a fun game to play. But the game would have been over because where would the profit take have been? Yeah, the line. And of course, several opportunities to take the profit. So that would have been a trade that would have profited had my stop been microscopically lower. But again, it's just part of the game. I like how the setup is in place for such. Magnificent. Let's take a look at TTC. It's not the Toronto Transit Corporation or whatever the subway system is, because that's how I've always heard it, which is probably why I bought it. For other than the fact that I liked its early volatility, as well as its very thin order book. I got a buy order waiting at 725. I have 764 low here, 760. So it's close. It's close. Risk reward and something you can calculate. Okay, well, I'm going to keep on buying if it goes down. That's the plan. And if it goes up, I'm going to sell. I'm looking for large percentage moves. Thus, if I buy at 725, I'm not going to look to sell until it gets up to like 11, 12, which would be like 40%. I'd probably sell about 25, 30% of what I own. And it's a good size buy in here compared to because of the large volatile difference from the last buy. But okay, so I'm buying at 725. Where would I buy next? Like 505, 510? That would be next buy. And then maybe I'll buy at about 355 if it keeps going down. I suppose if it keeps going down after that, where would I go next? Maybe 226. And then after that, maybe 121. And really, wow, holy shit, this is getting its ass kicked if I have to put a fifth buy order in at like 72. And then I suppose after that, I'd be going 40. And then maybe after that, 12. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I need to have 7 units ready to go to play this game. Oh, I can easily afford that, and I can. So I mean, you're understanding part of your risk just by doing calculations like that. And of course, what I'm looking to do is go for great percentage gains, where I get a sell. Say if I buy here, I sell. Then what's going to happen is I'm going to get a good profit. And then if it goes back to whatever level, I'll probably be going for a lower low at that. So if I end up buying it, it's the low here. Then it goes up here. I'd probably put my next buy order somewhere down in here, even there. So I'm always going to be adjusting to the message of the market and how my trades work for how my future results are going to play into form amongst such. Let me put that 725 back in before I forget. And move on to Bitcoin Cash and DGB because that's what I'm waiting for. Updating the confirmation. I'm still at 6, but I'm also many basis points at a higher ratio than I want to be at. For Bitcoin Cash is just hanging in there, I think. Let me take a look at it. Yeah, I mean, just hanging in there because it's just right there on the daily time frame. What I was saying is if it had a great break above here, I was going to be looking to sell. And it didn't hasn't been doing any of that. It hasn't broken down yet either. It's just back to within correctionary phase, still retracing dicely from this high to this low, both achieved in the same day. But on DGB, I mean, 128 now. It just keeps going lower. So the lower it goes, the better the trade's going to be. I mean, the one thing that would suck is if it goes lower, I probably wish, oh, you know what, I'd rather have a little bit larger of a sell size. The bigger the move, the bigger I trade. But as far as my ratio is concerned, I got 129 here. BCH says 48.92 as far as I'm concerned. So in here, it's went down a little bit. I could try to work my way with the order book, which is something I like to do, try to get the best price possible. And DGB is in at, again, 129. So that's a little bit lower here. The ratio is 36,093. And I'm looking for a break above 35,560. So it's already broken above it. Now I'm playing the time game. And as long as it's in that area, if it's 35,100 ballpark area, I'll just whatever, close enough. And a lot of times I don't know what the exact number is until I do the trade because I'll type in, and I already know what I'm going to sell on. And by the way, 3792. No, the ratio is 37,000. Much better. 37,922, and it's 35,560. So it's already like 2,400 basis points above it, which is like 6%. So even if DGB just happens to have a rise of like 6, it goes to 135 with the prices stand. It's still in the area where I can make a trade. But what I'm hoping for in the short term is it goes down to like 124, 125, or better yet, Bitcoin Cash just starts to pop up nicely. Maybe it's at 5077. When my 20th confirmation comes in, it's 9:28 p.m. Eastern time. I hope it's going to come in the next 2 hours because I like to go to bed before 12, if possible. So that's some other ratios. Dash and theta 1451. Uh, I'm still waiting for a little bit of a larger number, but I just want to buy theta, and the price is low enough here at 1157. So what I'll do basically, this is what I do. I'll just sort this by percentage move in here. And then I can go, okay, so BCH says 4880, whatever. I'm not going to change it if it's that small. Dash, I got 1664, so it's barely down. DGB, which shouldn't change too much because that was just a new entry, 128, so I can just microscopically put it down. Flow was 1251 last check, so really no change here. Last check, GRS was 4656. I bought some of that in the last couple hours. I bought that and DGB together. I trade them both together right here amongst that ratio. Let me just go like this. And I don't need this 11 in here. That's just there for whatever. Komodo, I'm going to use this. I mean, there's two different prices, but considering the only place I can trade Komodo right now is on Bittrex until tomorrow, I'm going to put in 1375. Litecoin is now down to 1111. I don't even need to change it. It's the same price. Neo is 1238, so it barely went down like 0.5%. And Theta 1157, so it's broke below the 12 number. And even down a little bit more at 1136, which puts this ratio into 1464. And I am technically waiting for a break above 1475, so there's a decent chance tomorrow that that ratio will be traded. Again, Bitcoin Cash DGB, I'm at the 35,000 ballpark area, so that trade is planning to be executed tonight. Litecoin against DGB at 8,703. I got 8783 cross, and I wouldn't mind closer to even 89. I'm going to go individually picky on that because I just executed a more larger term order. Some trades are bigger, some are smaller. I just completed a bigger term trade in the last few days, so I'm going to probably at least settle for 89 or better before making that trade. And that one happens fast because whether it's trading up, whatever I'm selling, it doesn't matter. I'll send it to Poloniex. It's gonna take me like literally like either coin like 7-8 minutes to send, and it's gonna be damn cheap from the wallet. And then I'm gonna sell one, buy the other, move it over. Just fast. How do you do? It's almost like going to a store, uh, getting them like you're walking into a casino. So you electronically do your numbers to bring funds to there. They get it. They send you casino chips. You play. You leave. You send the casino chips. The only difference is I'll be sending different chips back, I guess. GRS and DGB, this is 36.375. Again, this has been nasty because this is the two on steroids that I've talked about, and ever since trading it, I've pretty much been doing literally nothing. But that happens during these downtrends, not an uncommon surprise. So things to me still working fine. My last trade was April 4th at the ratio of 35. So I'm not even going to tell you where my numbers are next because it's pretty much still at last trade. That was April the 4th. This thing hasn't traded since then for me. Kind of sucks. And Litecoin GRS is in the same boat. In fact, both of these here are not really trading too much. Litecoin GRS in at 240 almost. April 26th, I traded it last at 204. I'm waiting for 255 or higher. So it's getting closer, but not quite there yet. Where I'd be selling Litecoin to do the GRS. I'd be planning on doing that on Binance. But I mean, when I bought that earlier, it was like the bid was like 45.90 something, and the ask was like 46.60 or something. It was like well over a percent differential. I'm like, screw this, I'm not paying 46.60. So I put my order in for 46 even. Nobody overbid me, and I just waited for 2-3 minutes. Nothing happened. Then I checked back 15 minutes later, seen the funds were there. Someone sold to me, and then I moved my wallets off the exchange, and it's right now available in my hardware wallet. But yeah, nothing to do here until this has a decent of a better gain on Litecoin GRS. Komodo 81 is the ratio. Just like this one here, April 3rd last trade, I did so at 71, and I'm waiting for like 88. So I still got a decent to go. And this one has been a little active, which is pretty nice. Right now, that's a 100 to 1 ratio. And inside this shows me my last trade prices anyway, where it was 146, then it went down to 103, then up down to 181, back to 103. So given that's 100, there's not much for me to do there right now. And I continue to sit and wait at 6 confirmations. It still hasn't changed. But you know what? So be it. I just got to realize, am I fine with this kind of wait? Well, then that leaves options. If you're not, that means two options. One, don't trade that coin, or two, have coins ready on the exchanges. Just enough for what your next sell order would be. And then, when you see it's time to sell, you can do so immediately. And then you will deposit more funds knowing that you're probably not going to need them anytime soon. And then you'll have those ready for the next sale. And if you buy some of that coin, then, well, how much do you want for your next sell order? And then withdraw the rest of it off your wallet. But you see these markets go straight down. A lot of this, again, is because of the Bitcoin extreme rally, and with a lot of the other altcoins as well. I mean, some of them are hanging in there, maybe gaining, breaking even, or not losing so much. But in looking at this via Bittrex, it's just hanging in there from the last decline. Yeah, it's showing signs of a possible failed breakout here. But even still, the way I look at it, I don't care or give a shit if it comes down here and does that after that. Because what I want is volatility. I just want to see. With the three coins I'm trading DGB against, which is Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and GRS. I just want to see how many of these coins I can make as I trade them back and forth. And if I get into a situation where I can get into a great profit taking period, then that will be a fun execution. But to talk about that, and knowing that we're at 1 penny, I at least have to go to this high, which is by no means where the previous high is. But it would be the area where I'd really want to consider, okay, taking some off the table, turning it into Bitcoin, and then deciding from there what I want to do with that Bitcoin after that. Now let's move on to ApeCoin as I wait for those 6 confirmations to go up to 7 to 8, all the way to 20. Okay, a little bit of a failed breakout, maybe, because it's back to correctionary phase. It still hasn't failed that by no means, but it's at the lower end testing it. I'm curious to see how this looks against the fiat. So let me just see with calculated by trading view. Well, they don't have it calculated, but it's on a Bitfinex exchange. And there's really? I mean, wow. Okay, let's see. Okay, not as much volume trade, but we can see a nice little setup in here. As you have this up move in here, this little bit of consolidation. I like how within this move here, how it's coming back and holding this general area here, a retest of this previous mark. And what do we got for previous? Go back to again. This area represents the congestion area as well. If you're going to make any type of higher low, and it already kind of has within this, I mean, technically speaking, I'd have to say this is your must-hold area, especially after this amazing move from point low, because it's been in a consistent downtrend during here. And I suppose for this, where would I want to start profit taking on cash? Well, it was 60 cents to a dollar. I do expect monstrous volatility with coins like this. So at least at 30, 40, 50, you can start doing it. But a lot of times you're expecting breaks. Is it possible mathematically that this could go to like two, three, $4? I realize breaking this level of resistance. Why the heck not? But just something to consider. You know what? Let's take a look at the top losers and gainers for the day. I have no idea what they are. So what I do is I come up to here and I'll just check percentage change. I want ones with real volume. And Solve Care is the by far 1,245 volume. Really? I mean, you have Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Ripple, Ravencoin. Even that's now no surprise. Cardano, Litecoin, Orbs, and that's rising in volume too. But wow, Solve Care. Okay, 9.4% down. But all of these are everything's red. Not one single bit up. So what I like to check here is what's the bottom of the best of the worst. And when I say the best of the worst, the uh, weakest or whatever is going to be right here for both the gainer and the loser. So let's just take a look at the loser. Cannabis coin, oh, it's even down to 17. That is just sad. Artbyte is down to 14. That's interesting. Do I want to speculate? I wonder which ones I can. I mean, this is a good, interesting time to speculate. I'm probably going to look at this more tomorrow if these markets don't have any type of quick bounces, especially if they decline further. But at the bottom here, 17, 17, 17, 17, 18%. Let's take a look at ABA and LBA. ABY and LBA. Artbyte, it's been a while since I've been in this. Much higher, of course, because it's pretty much probably at all-time low. Well, not maybe not all-time lows, but lows not seen in a heck of a long time. Straight decline on the daily time frame. A little bit of rally. Mathematically, this is going from 31 to about 44. Still looking at about 20 or so percent, at least on that move. Weekly term time frame. There's been some sick volatility. So your risk here is that it's pretty much going to nothing. 14 is the current price here. Are we talking about all-time lows? We're talking about matching lows. This low here in 2017, 2016 in December was 8. I mean, it's huge speculation at this point. I mean, if this is where if I were to play it, I'm putting in laughable money where, okay, if it loses, I don't give a shit. But if it gains, I mean, I could walk away with spectacular gains. But that's A, B, and LB. I'm thinking of library credits, but especially because I have put the C there. But cred is what I wanted to look at. Relatively new and having a spectacular gain. Let's calculate some Fibonacci. We got a low of 223, 214. What's the lowest do we see here? I guess I got to go 214. This high comes in at 1279. I'm looking at that 424 and 646 number. So 424, I think if you're going to try to speculate Pierce below, I'd be looking to probably think around a little over 400. That's my first thinking right there as far as the daily chart. After this phenomenal up move, we have it losing momentum in here. Having this failed breakout because after falling down below, managing to get to the 18 of highs, even another retest a couple days later, and then since it's been breaking below, extreme volatility to the downside. This is an interesting day here, May the 10th, as it managed to try to attempt a rally, but a very quick fail. And down she goes. I mean, I don't know. This could be a scam coin. This might not be. Could be an amazing buying opportunity. And it could even be a scam coin and something that can work in a trade where you get maybe a few months into the game, you get some good profit, you protect your profits. The scam comes later and you might lose at the very end with what you have, but because you profit take, that can work out very, very good. Let's take a look at some of the gainers now. And again, I'm going to be expecting the top bottom of this, might possibly in the negative, but to be very, very low. So the top gainer is 17%, and the loser, yeah, 0.3% is the bottom one. And then you got a whole bunch of possible dollar coins. So we have Quantum Resistance Ledgers at the top at 17%. Music Coin, which I've barely heard of, although I know it's been around for quite some time. It was added March 27, 2017. Geocoin up 12%. More Coin And it was added April 18th, 2017, and I've never heard of it before. I mean, the volume's pretty shitty at 0.14, and I'm not going to look at it simply and exactly for that purpose alone. So let's take a look at QRL. See if this is a snapback rally from some sort of large decline, and maybe even still below the 18 average on the daily. We'll see in a bit. Oh my goodness, this is just crazy. Okay, so yesterday's session it has a low, not seen in quite some time, breaking down to this major key level at around the 3157 Satoshi mark. And into today's session, it has this very large snap move, basically going from 27 up to about 41, so a gain of about 50% within the intraday move. Seeing how this looked like on the intraday session, it was basically two candles not too long ago that got this thing going. It's still in its correctionary move. This could easily be a pump and dump move of some sort. This thing could accelerate higher. Mathematically speaking, the chances that this either has a move in the very near term, probably down to the low 3000s or lower, or breaking this level of resistance to me should be very high. And of course, I'm not going to try to predict which one it is, but if I should be able to look at this a 5 minute and see it more closely. Yeah, not the greatest of volume overall, but within the daily term, this has been grinding its way lower. At most, all this is going to do is help it flatten out, which is what it's been trying to do. For some time, it's been down to sideways since this decent sized failed rally attempt in here. Mathematically, we're seeing here a move from 33 up to about 51. So about a 60% move on this failed breakout. But if you're looking for volatility, we're seeing a lot of it within this market. A lot of big, fast up and down moves. And when you're waiting for coins on the market for blockchain, as I've been talking about Bitcoin Cash, it was at six confirmations 5 minutes before I started. It was at six confirmations about 5 minutes ago. Now, it still stands at six confirmations. You want to make sure you want to do that markets where if you see there's a good situation to sell it, that you're probably still going to be right in an hour or 2 hours from now. With coins like this, that's most certainly not the case. I think with this, you want to make sure that your buy order, your sell orders are in place, and then you have to ask your questions: do you need buy orders? Well, you probably needed it here. You needed the sell order here. You did not need the buy order here because you could just went on whatever those days and bought somewhere near that bottom. Definitely wanted the sell order here. If you got this little play in here, you would have needed it here. You might have needed it down here, but overall, there wasn't much need anywhere else on here. But when we look at these fast up and down moves, this one here, how much time did you have to buy? You had a few days. It wasn't too difficult to buy here. After this move, uh, lots of time. In fact, even if you bought at this point, sold here, that's a profit. And even on all this happened. But if you waited, you definitely had time to buy back. Here, sell orders most certainly look to be needed here, unless you're just lucky to be there for the time. But again, it might have taken an hour for the blockchain, and you just don't have time that way. But you can see here you have all the time in the world to buy this back. You don't need buy orders to get it back. And so on and so forth. That's it for QRL. Of course, after I show you a more longer term chart with the weekly chart, it's just all these moves is just attempts in getting over this 18. This was a downtrend. Of course, the band is flattened out. Now it's losing that status of band flattening out, and for the last several weeks is showing weakness at the 18 of lows. Now let's take a look at this music coin stuff. I don't know how much they like Jimi Hendrix or Aerosmith, but we'll see. If you were wondering, you probably weren't, but if you were, my favorite song during the first 3 years of the millennium in the genre music of country probably would have been Blake Shelton Austin. It's a good song. I knew you were probably wondering that. No, you weren't. Okay, so this move is 14 Satoshi. Oh my goodness. Well, it wasn't too high, I guess, suppose. 75 here, 160 back there, 350 back there. Suppose it was a little higher, 800 back there. 1400. Yeah, it was a lot higher. I'm going to quickly check to see if this has been delisted. And I don't see the delisting on there. I don't own any. I got 6 Bitcoin Satoshi. All I got for my Bitcoin are the orders for stuff on here. A little bit, but not much, and I don't own any music, and I ain't gonna be buying any of it. I can't take any chances that they actually have support for music like New Kids on the Block because I loathe that music and that band, at least when they were playing. And if I hear it, I have to just get away from that music. It is, for me, terrible, terrible music. Now, here's the thing about the Bitcoin dominance. The number's much higher, no, noticeably higher, I think, than what the real one is, but so be it. It's close. So whatever it is, a few percentage basis points lower. I think what they're calculating is all of the altcoins they have, but all a bunch of the shit ones like ETN, and whether it is or not, like shitcoin that is, I don't know, but I'll just call it that. But if they don't have, if these are coins not traded on like the Poloniex and Bittrex, and they're just taking that market cap, then maybe they're missing out here and there. And that's how they're calculating it. Either way, you're getting an idea from those exchanges in itself, which might be even a better look because this again explains how altcoins overall are doing. When this is going up, this means altcoins are getting their ass kicked against the Bitcoin cross, and then the opposite when it's going lower. Now it comments, look, and I just looked at this for the first time, and I have no idea what you mean, Chris. But hey, man, hit me up and I'll fund your trading. Um, that type of trading that I was doing. If you're talking about that 1 minute time frame, and I know you are because I can tell that video. I don't want to trade that way. I can fund. I'm fine for funding. But anyway, Cloak C, thanks for all the comments. At first, I felt keep Bitcoin on the sidelines was a wasted. Should put that value in the ratio traded pair. Then I saw the USD getting involved. That for profit taken. Any buybacks? If I click on this, uh, it doesn't load my video, but I can see the comment full this way. And let's just read this one. Now, I feel the US dollar Bitcoin would be a great pair to actively trade, just like NEM, GRS. And I don't know how good NEM is, but really just a whole bunch of coins together. I just happen to be using that for the example. It's just 2 coins that I thought that I just put together just for whatever reason. I've not done the game for it yet. My girlfriend has a program to just put it through for super basic 20% at involved at 1.25 trading, so 25% from last trade. That will offer insights, but I suspect the pair would do more than when involved in occasional buy sell orders as in the game. What's more, and this really freaks me out, I've seen in the terrible assets I played with trading 2 pairs and buying another set of a pyramid with it offers immense additional yield, especially over such a time frame of 1 to 2 years. You know what? That's a big point there. Because when I'm looking at this, when you throw in like 3, 4, 500 days of trading, and I'm talking real days, and even then, if you take like that many days for like a year, whatever year and a half is, 18 months on the stock market, the massive numbers can really start to get really big yields over time, especially when you understand things about where banks are talking about, oh, 7% gains and 9% gains being so fantastic. And I'm thinking, oh, geez, if I pull off 30, 40% type of gains in my ownership in 1 year, and that's probably a little bit of a disappointment, but overall, it's a good mathematical number. A huge extra protection against downside should you stubbornly remain on assets that have not performed for a long time with volatility away, perhaps for a long time to come. Some of them will be losers, and sometimes you're going to have to go a decent amount of time before you see some yield results. And back in like 2015, 16, it wasn't uncommon, even into 2017, before you really started to see some negative results, albeit maybe small in some cases with Bitcoin gains, but still some declines and increase in your coins, but you got maybe, okay, you've gotten 35, 40, 45, 50% extra coins on your trade, maybe even double, but the prices are 5, 6, 7, 8 times lower against Bitcoin. So you're technically losing. But then all of a sudden things go up and you get more wild volatility, more wild trades. Things can be just fantastic. So Let's take a look more at these comments 4 hours ago. Thanks so much. You're very welcome. And John Segerman commented, thanks, Derek. I'm a noob here, but I'm picking up thanks to you. Looking from a very successful, for a first successful trade. Good luck. Catching every video got me hooked, sir. Thanks again. You are very welcome. S&P 500 commented, we can always count on you. It just seems when these days like this come on, and every so often I can just go like, it's almost like a not a marathon, but like one of those longer, not live stream either, but when like you do like an 8 hour live stream or a 4 hour live stream, it's almost what I'm doing when I put this together. So anyway, those are some of the comments. As far as my confirmations, I was at 6 of 10. There's the 6. It's not 1.25 BCH, it's lower than that. But I'm only paying 229 Satoshi on the fee. Let's do a refresh. Oh, at 8! We're at 8! That is so, so sweet. 12 to go. Oh, it's going to be a long night. So I'm going to put this video to conclusion. I was pretty close to my TTC order. Now it's at 840. What's going on to make it jump so fast? Oh yeah, the market's really thin. So if you can find a way to day trade this shit, like literally, like just trying to own the order book. And that can be hard if you're up against automated numbers, but 855 up to 949. That's over 10% in just a little bit. This volatility of this period alone, low of 787, high of 893, that's over 100 basis points, which means about 15%. And then this period alone, it's up 10% against, it's a 10% move. We can see the number right there. The open and the high and the close are all the same numbers. And on the 1 minute term time frame, I mean, you can see how thin the order book is here. When one trade is set at 774 and the next trade is in at 811, it's a thin book. But in the book, here's a buy and sell order. So big difference right there, 904 and 856. See if you can just try to pick away at the spreads. And you can already see automated movement in here as it is. And then look at the difference here from one bid here. There's only 904 you can, or 300 of them you can buy at 904. Then you're buying at 948. I kind of like those order books like that. And there's my buy order here. Should I change it? Well, I could move it up to like the 800s. If anything, I could lower it. I could lower it to 700. I mean, that's the whole beauty part about this. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to lower it to 7. Yeah. I mean, I've been doing that over and over and over again. Just keep on lowering it, lowering it. But the greater the volatility, the better. I mean, right now we can see trades 2147. That's something to look at too. I mean, people are actively buying this right now. I mean, 2145. Next page is 2142. So by no means is this an empty order book. So that gives even more reason if you're trying to pick away at the bid and ask where you can do such. Thanks for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye bye.